Oh hi, you join me reading my favourite book. Well, not quite, but what I'm just looking up here is magic. And in the dictionary it says that magic is something that is inexplicable or an amazing event. And that kind of reminds me of a trick I'd like to do for you. You see, I'd like to show you something that's absolutely amazing using these playing cards. Now, but I'd like to give people a choice. Would you like to see something that's amazing or maybe something that's awesome? What do you think? You want to see a trick that's awesome? Okay, that's your choice. I wanted to show you something amazing, but we'll go with your choice, something that's awesome. Now, you use a regular deck of cards, nothing in the box. The cards would normally be spread out by a magician and they ask you to choose a card. I actually prefer to turn the cards face up and give you a choice of any one of these playing cards. Now this is an absolute free choice. I'd like you, sir, to reach over and just touch any one of these cards. It doesn't matter which one. Okay, it's an absolute free choice. I then want you to choose one of the cards either side of it, and it doesn't really matter, it's your choice. So you're going to take these two cards here. Now you could have had a choice of any of these other cards in the pack. What I'd like you to do is to add up these two random cards. The 9 and the 5, that gives you a total of 14. You could have chosen another card and ended up with 21 on there, but you chose these two cards which add up to 14. You see, we're going to use these to eliminate 14 cards from this pack, and you'll notice I'm not going to cut them, shuffle them or mix them up because you may think I'm doing something with them. But if we take the cards and we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We eliminate the 14 cards from the pack. The card here that we arrive at is this one. Again, you could have had any of these. The 5 of clubs is what you stopped at. An absolute free choice. Now you wanted to see something that was absolutely awesome. You're not going to believe this, but I knew that you would choose that. If we look up the word awesome in here, and I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but earlier on today I circled the word awesome and I wrote beside it the 5 of clubs, which just happens to match your card. You're impressed, I can see. Now, remember at the start of this trick I wanted to show you an amazing trick. Well, you chose the 5 of clubs, an absolute free choice. The cards, you could have had any. The one card that you chose is truly amazing. The trick you've just seen me perform is a very old trick, so there's nothing new about it, and I've actually done this before on an earlier video, but I thought it was so good that it's worth bringing back to the limelight. And the reason being is at a party just 2 weekends ago I did this, but what I decided to do was to get rid of the dictionary, which works very well. However, I picked out a novel because I knew the person who I was performing for was a great fan of Harry Potter. And so I looked through the Harry Potter books and I looked for the word amazing, impossible, inexplicable, awesome, and things like that. So find one of those words in one of the books, and when you find that, and don't forget you can pick these books up quite cheaply second hand for just a couple of bucks. So once you've found a word, let's say for example I found the word awesome in a Harry Potter book, I would then go through the book. Once I've found it, I will then circle the word in the book and write the name of a playing card, in this case 5 of clubs, next to it. That's done. All you've got to do is remember roughly whereabouts in the book it is, what page it is. Just keep that in your head for your own benefit. You might even put a bookmark in there if you prefer. Okay, so you might want to put a bookmark in there. That makes it more topical. Rather than using a dictionary, use any novel. If somebody's into cards and maybe a card book, you then write on the back of the card another word. Now, you might want to write the word amazing or impossible or inexplicable. It doesn't really matter what word you put on there. Because at the start of the trick, you're going to use those two words. You say to the spectator, would you like to see something that's amazing or something that's awesome? Now, it might be that if you use different words, you might be turning around and saying to them, do you want to see something that's impossible or inexplicable? But you get the idea. Once you've done that, I then need to force this card onto them. Now, what I do is I use a force, which is quite a common one, so apologies if I'm telling you something you already know, but this is a particular card force well known by magicians, called the 14-15 force. The way that these cards are laid out in order, whichever two cards somebody chooses will either be 15. If I take a couple from here, you'll see the Jack, which is 11, and the 4 makes 15. These two cards, you'll see this is a 13 and 1 is 14. Whichever two cards they choose, they will always be adding up to either 14 or 15. It's a great classic force among magicians. Rather than me go through the order of these, there is a downloadable file which will give you all of the setup for this. Just makes it a lot easier. So once you've stacked the deck, all it is a case of putting your force card, the 15th card from the top. Okay, so I'm just going to guess that it's 15 there. When you deliver the trick, don't show the backs, certainly not that one. So you just you can spread them. That's why when you write on the back of the card, don't write up to the edges, put it in the middle so that when you spread the cards, it's not going to be visible. But you try and keep the cards face up. When you spread the cards, you ask them to pick any two cards. Now, this is the deal. I know that my card there is the 15th card down. If a spectator picks two cards from this end, once they've added them together, I will make sure I put them back at that end. It's as simple as that. However, if they pick two cards from down here, then you can leave them in full view. Now, depending on what the numbers add up to, if it's 15, you say, I'm going to deal down and pick out the 15th card is your card. If they add up to 14, you say, I'm going to deal down 14 cards to eliminate. The very next card will be your chosen card. Totally random. That's how that one works. The rest of it, if you watch a performance, once you know that, it's kind of self-explanatory. But it really is a good effect that once they've chosen either to be amazed or awesome. Now, if they had said they want to see an amazing trick, you then turn this over and say, look, that's amazing. That's what you wanted to see. But remember, I wanted to see something that was awesome. And that's when you refer to the book, the Harry Potter book, the dictionary, whatever it is that you want to do. So it doesn't matter which word they choose, whether they want to see something awesome or amazing or impossible or inexplicable. You just change the outcome of the effect to suit. But the revelation is great, works really well. Have some fun with that. Remember, all the details about the card stack are in the link below the video. Until next time, practice and enjoy, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Videos every week on this channel. Till then, see you soon.